So I kept these peach pits over summer, and there's one nectarine in there. I thought I had more nectarines, but since it's winter, I'm going to plant these and hope that I get some peach trees from them. So I'm going to do that today. So I just used a hammer, and I've cut the outer shell to expose the inner seed. And there it is. It's very small actually. Oops. Oh no, it's been cut. I think I might have done that a bit too hard. I've never done this before. But anyway, I'm going to plant it and let's see what happens. Now for the next 9. Okay, so I'm done. I'm a bit concerned. These ones are really thin. They don't look viable. They're so thin. They're like, see what I mean?
A bit of mint on the inside. It's warm.
Yeah, good. So,
Not too hot, not too cold.
sorry, this is my son. So I'm going to plant these in one pot, and I'm not expecting actually a lot to happen from them, which is quite disappointing that they look like that. These 3 were the darker seeds down in the tray, and they actually are a bit thicker. So hopefully they will do really well. And then this is the nectarine seed, which is really small, and it doesn't look very viable. It's wafer thin. But anyway, I'm going to plant them all. We're going to give them a try and we'll see what happens. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Okay, so let's get these planted. I'm going to pick up the little tiny nectarine seed and I'm just going to place it into the pot. The 3 dark peach seeds, put in this pot and just place them in there. Then if they start to grow, I'll obviously separate them out. But just in case, I'm not going to plant them all up in individual pots because they may not grow. Especially these ones, they are so thin. I wouldn't even think these are viable. So let's just place them in. Oops. Come back over here. 3. I'm just going to do 4 in each pot. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I've dropped one somewhere. I might put that one in there. Okay, well, looks like I've dropped one somewhere. That's okay. And then we'll just put some soil on top. Sprinkle a little bit on top. I'm just using an old pot that I don't have a plant in. I'm using up the soil. There we go. Let's put a little bit more onto that one. And just pat them down, make sure it's covering everything, and I'll give it a water. That'll water in. Okay, so these are some seeds I saved over summer from the tomatoes that I grew, and I am just going to take them off the paper here and save them for this season when spring comes around. I am very lazy. I did not wash these. I just pretty much got them straight out of the plant and onto the paper, and they still work. Okay, so that's taken me a little bit of time. So I had Gross Lear's tomatoes. I had some Roma tomatoes. and I had some tomato, which you saw me, which is a cherry. But then I was so afraid because I couldn't find my sauce tomato seeds. And I was like, I'm sure I saved them, but they weren't in the pile. And I was freaking out because they're the ones I really, really wanted to save and replant next year, next summer. And I ended up finding them. They've fallen behind the microwave. So I'm really happy with that. I've just completed all of those. So next season, in coming later this year, I will plant these tomato seeds. Now, some of them still had paper stuck to the back of them, but I don't mind because they should grow anyway with that paper. So shouldn't be an issue. So I will stay tuned, and I'll let you know when we get growing, come probably September-ish, I suppose, how they go. So my very own saved seeds for next season. Hey everyone, it's Louise here from Busy Mum Homestead, and please excuse the mess of my kitchen. I'm going to take you through some baking that I'm about to do today. So my kitchen is a huge mess. We've been a bit sick this week and I've let things go, so please ignore the mess. I've got about 1/3 of a cup of warm water in here with some sugar and yeast, just activating right now. You don't need to activate this yeast, it's instant dried yeast, but I just have been doing it lately and finding I get better results. By the way, I've swapped to this if you're in Australia, because I was getting the red packet one. I can't remember what the name of that was, and I've just noticed that after the first couple of times you used it, it was completely flat and didn't work anymore. So I've switched to this one and I'll see how this goes. It's been in the freezer. The other one I kept in the freezer too, and usually would last at least a year, but now it doesn't. This one, I will see how it goes. I haven't used this yeast in, well, at least 6 months, I think. So let's see if it works. Yes, there's a mess on my bench. Please ignore. I just put the load of dishwashers on, so I will come and clean through my bench top soon. Our kitchen is quite small, so things get piled up and messy, and yeah. Anyway, the yeast is starting to activate, so that's good. I have put a teaspoon of salt already into my mixing bowl, and I've melted some butter, and I'll just pop that in there for now. I'm actually just going to add my yeast mix in at the moment, even though it's a tad bit early. And I did add sugar into that, as I said, but I'm going to add the water into this cup. So I kind of wanted to tip it in so that I could accurately measure it. I do have another measure, I just couldn't be bothered finding it and using and dirtying another one. Okay, so I've just added 1.5 cups of water. Does anyone find that this really annoys you, that the cup measures are on the opposite side to the way you hold it? I don't know. I find that if you want to see the cup measures, you've got to hold it with your right hand, but if you're right-handed, you've got to pour everything in with your left, and it just doesn't work. I don't know. It's just one of my things that annoy me. Don't know if it annoys anyone else. Okay, so now we need to add about 600 grams of flour. Yes, I know my stovetop is extremely messy. I'm just using a cup because I feel like it today. This recipe is meant to be doubled. I'm just halving it. I don't want more than 1 loaf of bread. My boys don't really love homemade bread, so just make enough to get us through. I'm just going to measure in 300 into this cup, and then I'll come back with another go. Yep, so there we are, about 302. That's fine. One, let's go back for the second.
I do want to mention I also work full-time. I don't know, before you come and judge me. So I'm a full-time mum. I am a full-time worker. I run a side business, hopefully, sometimes. And I've just taken on coaching my son's basketball team. So I am very busy. I'm exhausted. I have health conditions, which, as I mentioned, Hashimoto's, hypothyroidism. I used to have chronic fatigue, and I still sometimes find myself getting very burnt out very easily a lot of the time. So my house doesn't always appear the cleanest, or isn't always the cleanest, because I'm only one person and I can only do what I'm capable of doing each day. Oops, sorry about that. Okay, I'm just going to put this on. Oh, right. Now, I do love mixing bread in this. It just, I can't do a double loaf in this either. That's also why I'm halving it. It does not coat with a double loaf, trust me. I have burnt it out so many times, but it still keeps going once it cools down. So I just do one at a time, but I mix it in here and then I let it do its first rise in here, and I cuts down so much effort and energy. It's brilliant. I've been doing it this way for probably 11, 12 years or so. So yeah, it's a good way to mix your bread. And we'll just let it go and mix for a minute. And as it's mixing, I just watch it to see if it needs more flour, more water. Just keep an eye on it. I usually let it mix for about 7 minutes, and then I find that the mixer doesn't like to do much more than that. So yeah. At the moment, could probably nearly do with some water, but some flour, but I'm just going to let it go for a bit and just see if it comes together. But I'm thinking I'll have to add a bit more flour to this. And I'll just, that's one big huge tablespoonful. That's looking good. Well, I ended up adding a lot more flour, but this is exactly how you want it. Clean into the dough hook and away from the sides. So I'm about to stop it, pull it out, grease the pan with some spray grease, put it back in, spray some Glad wrap and put that back over the top and let it rest for an hour or so. It's been an hour and my dough has risen beautifully. Actually, it's probably been an hour and a half. So let's go get this into the loaf pan. I'm just going to knock this down. Can you see that? Okay, and then we just pull it together. And just put it in here, and I'll just leave it to sit for another half hour and rise, and that's it for now. Okay, so I've got the jug boiling in the background that you can hear, but I've decided I want to make a date and walnut loaf. I'm craving it at the moment and I haven't had one in years, so I found a recipe and I'm going to try that. Except that the recipe is all in ounces and there's no conversion to grams. So with Google, I'm going to try and do this. So I need 110 grams of dates roundabout. That's 117. That'll do. Okay, so to was about 116 grams of dates I put in. It was meant to be 4 ounces and 2 ounces of butter. I ended up putting in about 60 grams. 2 ounces should have been about 50 grams. if that makes sense and you're following. So I've put in 60 grams of butter, which is more than what was needed, a teaspoon of baking soda, 110 grams of dates, and now I'm going to put in a cup of water, boiling hot water, and I'm just grabbing a wooden spoon. And then apparently mix it around. I might just take that off the scale. Mix it around until the butter melts, which might be a bit more difficult because I added quite a bit. And I just cut it onto the scale, so some of them were a bit thick. But we'll just let that sit. And then it says to leave it for 30 minutes until the dates plump up. Okay, so that's been rising for half an hour. So I'm going to put this in the oven. Oh, it's not completely full at the top, but that's okay. Oh, and put that in there. So this has been 30 minutes. The timer just went off for that. So let's go back and read the recipe and see what I need to do now. Okay, so this is where it's going to become tricky. I need 8 ounces of self-raising flour, which is 226 grams apparently. I don't have self-raising flour. I always use plain flour and baking powder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and measure it out in cups into the scale. So hopefully I get, so that's 1 cup, an idea. Oh, that's 170. So that's, okay, let's go. So it's about half a cup there, 1.5. I said 220, didn't I? Oops, 240, 230. Okay. So that was about, I think, roughly about 1 1/3 cups. So if I put 3 teaspoons of baking powder, because it's 2 teaspoons of baking powder per cup for self-raising flour. So if I put 3 in, we should have more than enough. Right, so let's try that. And of course I've got a massive teaspoon here, so I'm just going to go 1, 2, and do them like half of that, because yeah, I estimate that to be about half. Gosh, let's hope this works. Right, now we need 170 grams of brown sugar. Hopefully I've got enough in here. That's a bit over. Okay, let's see if I can take a little bit of that off. 178 will do. And I need 2 ounces of chopped walnuts. So just trust me, I'm going to chop these and then I'll put them in. So 2 ounces according to Google translates to 56 grams, and I estimated that perfectly. Pretty proud of that. So then I add in an egg and we mix it all together. Right, so I've just given this a bit of a whisk in here because I'm doing this one-handed and I think that's going to work better. So in goes the egg. Oops. And then I'll put this in. Now, excuse my boys in the background. I do like to whisk cakes with a fork. Okay, I might have to stop this and show you when I'm done. Okay, my next challenge is that the bread's in the oven baking, and then straight after that's done, I need to put in the roast chicken for dinner, which I had in the freezer and it's been defrosting. So now I need to try and cook this cake in this air fryer, which I've had and I've never cooked a cake in before. So the thing is, I've got the biggest one I have down, but now I need to find a tin that will fit inside there. So let's see if I've got anything. I have a feeling this is going to be too big. Let's have a look. Oh, actually, that just fits. Oh, yes. All right, let's try that. Hopefully it doesn't break in there. I've just got to give it a bit of a clean. It's a bit dusty. Okay, so I've sprayed it and I've lined it just in case and to make it easy to get out, and I will put in the mix. Okay, here goes nothing. Let's put it in. Does it go that way? Oh, no. Oopsie. Right. Okay. Oh, that's heavy. Put that in there. Done. Now I better turn it on. Okay, so never baked a cake in these before. I'll just move it forward. Right, press the button. It's on 180. There's a cake. Oh, it doesn't work. So I need it to be 60 minutes apparently. Okay, let's try 60. Hang on, I'll double check. Okay, it doesn't say what temperature. I'm assuming it's 180. So 60 minutes at 180. There we go. Fingers crossed. So it's time to pull the bread out. Timer's gone off. I've got a clean cotton towel ready. So let's see if I can pull this out one-handed. I may have to put you down. Done it. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, it looks good on the top. Nice. All right. Let's see if I can roll this out one-handed. Oh, beautiful. Now, hollow. Yes, it's done. Awesome. Let's flip it over. Hang on. Beautiful shaped loaf. I love these pans. I got it off Temu and they are just brilliant. You get them in nice sandwich sizes, and yeah, it didn't cost very much. $10, $15, maybe even 20. I can't remember, but so worth it. So I just wrap it in a tea towel and I just let it sit there till it cools down. All right, so now the chicken's going in. Actually, I might just pull that rack down one. I love having the smallest ovens ever, don't you? There we go. That'll do. Right, that chicken is in. All done. Okay, so I'm out now. Start again. I'm outside again now. I'm going to, last week you would have seen me plant those peach seeds. Now hopefully I still have some in there because I did catch the chicken eating them. I collected these off the tree. The tree's in the neighbour's backyard, but there were apricots that fell on the ground into our yard. So I collected some of the seed from them in summer. So now I'm going to crack them open like I did the peach seeds and plant these, and hopefully have my very own apricot trees sprouting very soon. This one had two. I just had to show you. How cool is that? 2 seeds. So I'm not going to do all of them. I'm just going to do 12 seeds and leave these ones, which there's only roughly about 5 or 6 in there, in case none of these sprout. But according to the Moon Planting Guide, today is a good day for planting seeds or seedlings that bear fruit. So hopefully we should have some luck with these. Now, sorry, I'm just sort of sticking my finger in. I don't know how far to plant these, but probably deeper than what I did the other day with the peaches. But we've got 3 pots here, so we'll do 12 seeds. And then hopefully we'll get some little apricot seedlings coming out, which will be very exciting. I really love the fact that, you know, the idea of planting our own and how cost effective that is just by planting seeds. And it may take some time, but in the end I think it's very worth it. Okay, so I'm just around the side and I'm just giving some of my seedlings a bit of a water, especially these ones against the brick wall. Under the eaves they get warm from the sun and then they miss out on any little bits of rain or dew that we might have. So just giving them a bit of a water. Now this is some bok choy finally coming up, which is very exciting. I should probably harvest those Paris market carrots in the back there. Cabbage. And this is some spinach, which is actually finally coming up, I believe. Oh no, I planted some cabbage in there too, didn't I? Because they weren't coming up. But I think they are actually starting to finally come up. Alrighty. There you go. So these are a bit dry. They're not too bad. They are dampish. I don't know if I can do this with one hand with a full watering can. So I might have to put you down. So I just wanted to show you, in this pot we actually had cornflower. Classic romantic in this pot. And they are coming up, which is very exciting. This one, I put the ranunculus in there, but nothing so far. So hopefully they germinate. They were very pretty white ones. My lemon thyme doing very well in the pot. This one I don't know. This one I don't know if it's a Brussels sprout. Doesn't really look like it. But there is some tiny baby ones finally starting to appear, so hopefully they grow very soon. Not a lot else to report. Unfortunately, this is the time of year. We're 1st of June today, and things start to really slow down. So I don't know whether those Brussels sprouts will even grow. It might be too cold for them to start now. So we'll have to wait and see, and I will keep you updated. Okay, let's see if this cake is done. Oh, it's going to go into the oven. I need to go up here. Oh, it looks a bit brown on the top. Oh dear. I'm just going to, it's a date loaf, but I want to have it warm. Probably not cutting it on the cake racks. Oh, look at that date and walnut loaf. I've been craving it. Look at that. You want me to cut you some?
No thanks.
It's a bit warm.
I mean, I might take a little bit actually.
But smeared with butter. Oh my god. Yeah, it's a bit too warm to be cutting. But I can't wait. Oh shit. Oh well. But that piece looks amazing.
Okay, I'm gonna
It's
stop.
too